He said that saturation diving pays well, but
It pays well, but that's because it's so incredibly fucking dangerous. This diver revealed the truth about what they encountered while working on this deep sea oil rig.
despite centuries of exploration and scientific research, the world's oceans remain unexplored, and we have only scratched the surface of our understanding of this vast, mysterious realm. It is estimated that we have explored less than 20% of the world's oceans, with much of the remaining
Which is
80%
incredibly
still
scary
largely
to
uncharted
think about.
and unknown. This is due in part to the sheer size and depth of the oceans, as well as the challenges involved in studying them. The deep sea, for example, is an especially difficult environment to explore, with crushing pressures, extreme temperatures, and complete darkness. In recent years, advances in technology and oceanographic research have enabled scientists to explore previously inaccessible parts of the ocean.
I will give deep sea scientists that. They are braver than me. The fucking ocean, like, I'm not really scared of, like, it's not, what is it, thalassophobia or whatever it is, where it's, like, a legitimate phobia or whatever, but deep sea does kind of scare me. In the sense that it's so fucking unknown. You know what I mean? Like, it's... being on a boat and everything doesn't scare me, but just the sheer emptiness and how we don't really know anything about it scares me.
Such as the deep sea vents, and uncover new species and ecosystems that were previously unknown to us. However, much of the ocean remains unexplored, and there is still much to learn about the role of the ocean in regulating the Earth's climate and supporting life on our planet. It's also true that we have mapped more of the moon's surface than we have of our own oceans.
Yeah,
this is partly due to the fact that the moon is much closer to Earth than the deep ocean, and is therefore more accessible to exploration and mapping.
The ocean actually gets that fucking deep? That's fucking scary. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the moon is closer and easier to explore. God, that's fucking weird to think about. We can go to space to map our fucking moon easier than we can map our own fucking oceans. Like, that's insane to fucking think about.
In contrast, much of the world's oceans remain largely uncharted and unknown, with only a small fraction of the ocean floor having been mapped in detail. This is due in part to the challenges of exploring the deep ocean, which is a hostile and difficult environment to study. Interestingly, in recent years, divers and fishermen have come forward and detailed their strange experiences while...
Is this an AI picture? I can't tell because that looks like it wants to be an American flag, but isn't. That thumb looks like it's pointing towards... This might be an AI picture. Little bits of it just don't make sense. Oh. Okay.
While being in and around the world's oceans. One diver posted the following story to social media. He said the following.
Social media.
I worked with a guy who used to be a deep-sea welder.
I think this is AI.
He also worked on various things in the ocean, such as rigs, which would require him to dive deep beneath the ocean. He got talking one day as we shared a lot of things in common, and he told me about some of the strange things that we witnessed while carrying out jobs in the ocean. Due to the years of experience that he had, he told me that he could easily identify wildlife and said that he would often encounter things like deep-sea fish, sharks, along with various squid species. He said that saturation diving pays well, but
it pays well, but that's because it's so incredibly fucking dangerous. Like, I forget what the, God, what was it? Wendigoon did a video on it, and I saw a fucking short, or a small video on it recently, where it was it Scottish? Maybe, I don't know. It was one of those accidents where whatever reason, the fucking the fucking airlock system didn't seal correctly, and it killed everyone inside it. One of the dudes got sucked out of a small hole, and thankfully was killed in the fraction of a second, so he didn't feel anything. But like his organs were sucked out. His face was. Apparently, there's pictures you can see of his face. Like, nah. Hats off to y'all. Y'all get paid a lot. That shit scares the fuck out of me, though.
It's a job that carries its risks, and that this encounter
Yeah, it
made him
does.
think twice about re-entering the water. He said that on this one occasion, he and a team was called out to a big job, which saw him and the team assembling and maintaining an oil rig and pipelines. While he was down there, each of the team had their positions. He detailed that the visibility wasn't great, and that it was overall a difficult job to carry out. He said that on day 5 he got into position and started working, but after about 20 minutes he kept on feeling something heavy touch his back. At first he thought it might have been another team member, but when he turned around, there was no one there.
Squid?
His second thought was that it could have been a school of fish, going on to say that these underwater structures are somewhat of an attractor for smaller species, as they act like protection for them. When it happened, he said that a few minutes later, he was able to get a glimpse of this thing, and said the only way he could describe it was that it looked like some type of squid. He detailed that the organism put him into a sort of trance, saying that it did this by changing shape and colour. He said that he had never experienced anything like it before, as he was still awake and knew what was going on, but noted that he couldn't move. The reason that he said the organism was like a squid is because this is the only animal that he was aware of that had this type of ability, although he did say that he'd never encountered anything that looked like this creature.
Cuttlefish? That's instantly what came to mind, because I think cuttlefish kind of have like the little tentacle things on the front, and they fucking flash colors to hypnotize. I can't speak. Hypnotize prey. Is that what he's talking about? That's instantly what I thought of.
He said that he's never got over the fact that this creature was able to paralyze him without touching him. When I asked whether anyone else had seen all of this unfold, he told me that he was behind a large piece of equipment that obstructed his view, saying that all of the other members of the diving team were working on areas of the rig that were out of view, so although a team was within the area, none of them could see each other. He also said that these...
a good video game about kind of like this deep sea diving. Necrosis. I think that's what it was called. Where you're stuck in the diving suit. It's like a psychological horror game. That was a pretty good game.
Structures are massive, and even if they were working close together, the visibility in the region that they were in wasn't great. He continued saying that once the creature approached him, getting within around 10 feet, he said that it slowed down its coloration and stopped moving its body into different shapes, and once it did this, he then started to regain movements in his arms and legs.
Like I said, cuttlefish is instantly what comes to mind.
He said that he had an incredibly painful headache and felt very dizzy. On the day of the encounter, he said that everything was fine before he entered the water.
But I'm going to say fuck no to that.
He didn't complain of having a headache. He didn't have a drink or anything in his system that would compromise him, so he was sure about what he had witnessed. When I questioned him on the size of the creature, he said that it was difficult to say, and the only thing he remembered about its size was that it was much bigger than him. He was certain that it wasn't a common squid species that he had encountered before, saying that normally the areas where he worked had much smaller squids.
I'm going to say it again, cuttlefish, but I don't know how actually big they get. Like, I don't actually know how big a cuttlefish can get in compared to a human, you know? So that is one thing. I actually don't know how big they can get.
And that they couldn't do what this creature did. He said he tried to research what this thing was, but every time he did, he came up empty, being unable to find a squid or creature that matched what he encountered. At the time, he said that I was the only person he told the story to, and that he didn't want anyone knowing about it. He did admit that he was scared to go back into the water, as this organism possessed the ability to control him, and it's something that really surprised him, as he'd never had this happen to him before. Even though the encounter only lasted a minute or so, it was something that he didn't want to relive. He said that the headache lasted about a week, and it was easily
God,
the
that's a
worst
long
headache
time.
he'd ever had before. After this experience, he said that he never encountered the creature again, and that as of today, he has no idea what it was that he encountered. End quote. Interestingly, this diver isn't the first person to come forward and say that they encountered a mysterious creature while diving in the ocean, and it's led some to suggest that there's undiscovered species that people are encountering that are not yet known to science.
It honestly wouldn't well, yes and no wouldn't surprise me. Because I'm pretty sure to set up an oil rig and shit like that for this kind of thing, environmental studies have to be done first. Well, not just that. I mean, it wouldn't maybe it moved in and everything, but it wouldn't surprise me if there were new species that divers saw and were just like, oh shit. I mean, like they said, our ocean's pretty undiscovered for us. So it wouldn't
Oddly
surprise
enough,
me.
just recently, scientists came forward and proposed that octopuses might be aliens or originated from space.
Really?
The idea that octopuses might have originated from space is
Thought it was
based on the
octopi.
fact that they are highly intelligent and exhibit some unique traits that are not seen in other animals on Earth. For example, octopuses have a complex nervous system and can change color and texture to camouflage themselves in their environment. Additionally, their genetic makeup is quite different from other animals, leading some to speculate that they might have evolved independently from a different ancestor than other animals on Earth.
Really?
Another thing to keep in mind is
I may have heard of this, but it was like a crackpot theory type shit, I want to say.
that animals belonging to the group Cephalopoda can grow to extreme sizes.
Yeah, they can.
The largest squid species in the world is the giant squid, which is also one of the largest invertebrates in the world. Giant squids can grow up to 43 feet, or 13 meters in length, and can weigh up to 600 pounds,
That's
or
fucking
272 kilograms. Giant squids have a mantle body that can reach lengths of up to 8 feet or 2.5 meters, and 2 long feeding tentacles that can reach lengths of up to 30 feet. They have 8 arms that are lined with suction cups and are used for grabbing prey and
don't
bringing
forget
it
the
to their
barbs.
beak-like mouth. Despite their large size, not much is known about the behavior and biology of giant squids, as they live in the deep ocean and are rarely encountered by humans.
Yeah.
The first
So I'm pretty sure for the longest time, they weren't known about. It was fairly recently in recent time. Like maybe 90s or early 2000s, I want to say. To where the giant squid was actually documented in catching off the Sea of Japan in Japan, I want to say. Like a fisherman caught a picture of, I think, a dead adolescent one, I want to say. I'm not positive, but I remember the first pictures that showed up about them. Because it was on the surface, and I want to say it was dead.
footage of a live giant squid in its natural habitat was captured in 2012 by a team of Japanese scientists using a specialized underwater camera. Since then, several more sightings and captures of giant squids have been reported, providing new insights into their biology and behavior. Scientists are constantly discovering new species in the world's oceans, but it is difficult to estimate the exact number of new oceanic species that are discovered each year. This is partly due to the fact that many parts of the ocean remain unexplored, and new species are often discovered during research expeditions and surveys. According to the World Register of Marine Species, which maintains a database of all known marine species, an average of around 2,000 new marine species are described and named each year. However, this number can vary widely from year to year, depending on factors such as the level of research funding and the number of expeditions and surveys that are conducted. It is important to note that the discovery of new species is just the first step in understanding the biodiversity of the oceans, and much more
there's a
research
whole
is
bunch that
needed
goes
to
into
understand
it.
the ecological roles of these species and how they interact with each other and with their environment. Additionally, many oceanic species remain undiscovered or poorly studied, highlighting the need for continued research and conservation efforts to protect these vital ecosystems. Scientists have come forward and said that the oceans are difficult to map for a number of reasons. The average depth of the ocean is around 3,800 meters, or 12,000 feet, and the deepest parts of the ocean can reach depths of over 11,000 meters, or 36,000 feet.
God, that's deep.
This makes it difficult to explore and map the ocean floor using traditional methods, as the water pressure at such depths is immense and can damage or destroy equipment. The ocean covers over 70% of the Earth's surface, making it a vast and complex environment to study. The vast majority of the ocean floor remains unexplored, and only a small fraction of it has been mapped in detail. Mapping the ocean floor requires specialized equipment, such as sonar systems and underwater vehicles, which are expensive and often difficult to operate in the harsh underwater environment. The ocean is subject to constantly changing weather and environmental conditions, which can make it difficult to conduct research and obtain accurate measurements. Unlike land, which can be easily accessed and studied by researchers, much of the ocean is inaccessible to humans due to its depth and the challenges involved in conducting research in underwater environments. Despite these challenges, advances in technology and oceanographic research have enabled scientists to make significant progress in mapping and understanding the ocean.
Just hella cool.
For example, the use of satellite technology and underwater vehicles has enabled scientists to explore previously inaccessible parts of the ocean and obtain detailed maps and data on the ocean floor.
That's cool.
However, much more research and exploration is needed to fully understand the complexity and importance of the ocean and its role in supporting life on our planet. The total number of species in the ocean is difficult to estimate accurately, as the vast majority of the ocean remains unexplored and many species are still waiting to be discovered. However, scientists...
Which is crazy to think about because there's so many that we've discovered. Like, there are so many species we've discovered, and just say, oh yeah, a good majority of them, a good majority of life in the sea, we haven't even discovered yet because we just can't get to it, is insane for me to think about. Like, that is actually fucking insane.
Scientists have identified and named approximately 250,000 marine species to date, and it is estimated that there could be anywhere from 500,000 to 10 million more species that have yet to be discovered.
More, so not
marine
even
species,
not even 250,000 of 500,000 on the low end. No, that means there's 500,000 more.
Come in a wide variety of forms and sizes, from tiny plankton to massive whales, and live in a range of habitats, from shallow coral reefs to the deep ocean trenches. The ocean is also home to a high level of biodiversity, with many species exhibiting unique adaptations to their environment, such as bioluminescence, camouflage, and extreme temperature tolerance. The oceans are critically important for our planet in many ways. The oceans play a crucial role in regulating the Earth's climate. They absorb and store large amounts of carbon dioxide and help to regulate the Earth's temperature and weather patterns. The oceans are home to a vast array of plants.
I gotta know, is the ending of this so... Like, I feel like the last, 3 or 4 minutes, it just, stopped talking about shit. Yeah, so he said that multiple times. Okay, we'll finish this out, but it feels like he's
many
just
of which
kind
are
of
still undiscovered.
I don't want to say
this biodiversity is important.
I don't want to just say oh, he's just yapping at the end, but that's what I'm feeling. I don't want to be an asshole.
For maintaining the health and stability of the ocean ecosystem, and provides important benefits to human populations, such as food, medicines, and recreation. The oceans provide a significant source of food for millions of people around the world, particularly in developing countries where fish and seafood are a major source of protein. The ocean also supports many livelihoods, such as fishing, shipping, and tourism. Phytoplankton, tiny plants that live in the ocean, are responsible for producing over half of the oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere. They are also a critical part of the ocean food web.
So a big part.
providing food for many other marine species.
Yeah, huge
Despite
in
their
the
importance,
ecosystem.
the oceans are facing numerous threats. It is important that we take action to protect and conserve the health and biodiversity of the oceans for the benefit of both current and future generations. So, what do you make of the mysterious squid story, and what do you think the diver encountered? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.
Pretty sure it was a cuttlefish. Sorry. I'm pretty sure it was a fucking, my bet is it was a cuttlefish. Make sure you check out the original video below. I'll link it. This was pretty good. Ending dragged on a little too long in my opinion, but what can you do? Like and subscribe if you want to see more of me. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.